Next up, we have Echoes of Memoria, perennial 2024 Grand Finals tiebreaker by Ludicin, featured in Osu Is My Understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. Once again, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025, I will take a single fanfiction of the choice of the community. I'll fully record, voice act, and produce an audiobook for it. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, nothing like that, no rat behavior. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two distinct concepts, by the way. Use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does, so go check it out. Link down below. Bring me more artists to collaborate with. Do not spam, do not harass anyone. Be cool, do not be a rat. Members get early access to the content if you're a paid member on YouTube. So I schedule the videos of the week for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of the tier that you're in, you get access to the videos, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. Disclaimers on your screen showing right now. If you want to read them, go ahead and pause them. With that being said, let's do this. Let's do this. Echoes of Memoria. Let's go. Okay, we start with an initial hit of some drums, and we bring in a piano. Sounds like a synth plus piano kind of thing, giving us our initial, what sounds to be our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the essence from which everything else comes from. This could also be our accompaniment being the backing band of this. However, immediately upon introducing the musical idea, we have engaged in sequencing. So, sequencing is a way that you can develop your motifs, which is you take whatever musical idea you're having. In this case, it's a very simple going from note 1 to note 2, and we just start the pattern again from a different point in the scale. And you can do this as much as you want, and what it does is it gives you a very, very nice meta directional melody. So we have this going on. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so we bring in a vocalist. I believe is singing Japanese. It might be Japanese that is being sung, it might be a vocaloid, I'm not entirely sure. However, this turns this from an instrumental piece or a track into a song. We have now vocals and lyrics, which are the driving force of the music. So, what happened, structurally speaking, we started with a quick intro, and now we are in verse 1. Verse is one of the main components of songs. You have verses, you have choruses, intros, outros, you have solos, you have bridges, and there's like more and more and more. Verse is usually text over music. You want to go through music. You don't want to make your melodies too wild, too catchy, or too climactic. You want to go through text, or you just want to introduce some sort of pattern. So let's see where this goes. And then at the top we had a violin, I think, doing some... It was either a violin or it was a guitar with a very specific type of distortion, giving us a little bit of counterpoint to that initial... to these initial melodies. And Nairobi, yeah, interesting. Didn't you just get the membership? That's odd. So, yes, we have the thing going on here. We have counterpoint. So counterpoint being the study of mainly melodies, how they interact, how they develop, usually when you pit them one against the other. And it sounds like the current... Oh, that was my computer, sorry. It sounds like the current melody was being a call and response. So... that was a full month, not a new... Oh! Interesting. Odd. I don't know why YouTube announced it then. Odd. We will, yeah, we will, just afterwards. Yes, so let's see where this goes. A quick moment of glitches. Now we bring it... we bring back the original motif, we speed up the drums, and the motif is now in what is called reduction. We're playing a reduced version of the motif. It's faster, it's taking shorter amounts of time, and it's going. Let's see where it goes. We speed up the drums. We bring some of the melodies from the verse back. And we're still building up. I really like it. So this is a developed version of the motif, which sounds to be a just a repetition and inversion of the motif. Inversion being when you take a musical idea, you grab it and you flip it upside down. That is basically what an inversion is. Very nice. And we're just building up with the drums. We're building towards a drop, it would seem, with these drums the way that it's going. Let's see where it goes. We have the vocals in the back, giving us a little bit of melody in the back. We drop the... thank you, Torts. Thank you. So it stays untouched. Alright, so we do the drop right with the... right at the end of the build-up, which is usually not as good an idea, because when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension or you're resolving that tension. That point in between, we call a cadence. However, if there's one thing that the cadence usually needs is a little bit of space. And there was no space here. It just kept going. And we've dropped the beat now. We've dropped the beat. We have a melody going on. We have brought the motif now closer to the bass. We're messing around with the bass because the bass is a little bit more free when it comes to music. So let's see where this goes. Oh, nice, Cosmo, nice. So we still have the motif arpeggiation. We're adding a couple of stingers here or there. Stingers being when you short bursts of music, usually one-off type of things, and we're doing a couple of them here and there to add a little bit of extra texture, a little bit of extra counterpoint, stuff like that. So let's see where it goes. We speed up the drums. Another build-up. And now we have a drop. Okay, so now we bring the drop. So we have a false drop over here that turned out to be a little bit of extra buildup. I think the drums were a little too strong on this one because it gave the illusion of it being a drop. But now we got the actual drop, and I like that we are doing the melody. We are doing the motif melody, the developed melody, as part of the drop. Because this is usually something that is not really mandatory when it comes to dropping the beat. Usually you are going to focus on the bass and stuff like that. But in this case, we are focusing more on the melody. Which, I'm a melodically oriented composer, so it hits right towards my bias. Let's see where it goes. Just messing around with the rhythm, back and forth, using those glitchiness, but the melody is still there. And now we're off to beat drop, full on Osu mode, I guess. So I haven't played the game, so full on beat drop, where now we're just fully messing around with the bass, with all this kind of stuff. Barry, welcome today. How you doing? So when you're doing things, and Hayden, welcome today. When you're making music, you are doing one of two things. You are not that you're doing two things. You need to keep a very careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. However, there is one universal exception, which is solos. It doesn't matter what genre you're in, if you introduce a solo, you can get away with almost anything. And then electronic music has one additional exception, which is dropping the beat. If you make a good build-up, you drop the beat, you can do pretty much whatever you want. And as long as it's good, as long as it sounds cool, you can get away with it. So that's basically what we're doing over here. First round of the drop, we focused more on the melody. I would have probably done it the other way around, but this still works. And now we are in full glitchy bass mode electronic. So let's see where it goes. What kind? The good kind, Barry. And another thing that's happening over here is that we are sidechaining the music. So we have a lot of the music that we've done before, the very melodic, very pretty type of music, and it's being sidechained by the drums. The drums being very unstable in this type of drop, which is kind of a common here, and sidechaining being whenever the drum hits, everything else gets the volume turned down and then back up. However, what Ludicin here is doing is, instead of doing the gradual turn down and back up, we are doing a kill switch. So a kill switch in music, it started with a guitar. It came up in a guitar, and it's a button that you press that mutes. You press, and as long as it's pressed, it's on, and once you let go, it's off. And the button, what it does is when you press the button, it mutes the guitar. It cuts off the sound. And when you release it, it unmutes the guitar. No fade in, no fade out, because there's a very big difference between turning the volume down and back up versus cutting off the volume and then bringing the volume back up. There's a very, very subtle but big difference. It's a very, very subtle difference, and it can make a massive difference between the two. So I guess these are the two types of sidechaining, the fade type of sidechain and the on-off type of sidechain. And right now, considering the speed at which things are happening, the fade type of sidechaining would not allow enough time for the music in between to fully be appreciated the way that it is. So we are going on and off. And there you go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do like other combinations of it. So I should post his name. So okay, good Barry, good to hear that. I'm very happy to see that. Glad that the community could help. So let's see where this goes. That's really cool. So yeah, we're just interrupting the music that already happened. Very nice. Extra build-up. Let's see where it goes. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic term for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is a transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. And the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well. We did that, and what have we done? Just hold down a chord with the synths. So Now we bring back some glitchiness. We fade in the synth a little bit more. So this piece over here, so it turns out this is not a song. So that was my keyboard getting attacked. This piece partially uses a song structure, partially not, because we did have a verse earlier, and it was the driving force. But then we switched over to instrumental music for what would have been the chorus and a break. Now we're in what we would call a bridge. So it seems that we're following a song-like structure, as opposed to a traditional form for music, which the fact that we're still using vocals helps a lot. It's just that it can be a little bit tricky. So when it comes to instrumental music, you have what is called form, which is just a structure, because when it comes to instrumental music, unlike songs where you can identify via lyrics and those easy patterns, what is a verse, what is a chorus, that kind of stuff, you just go for letters. So you go from intro maybe to section A to section B to section C to A prime, B prime, that kind of stuff, prime being slight variations, that kind of thing. In this case, we have gone the intro, verse, what would have been the chorus ended up being a drop of the beat, still following that climactic function of it. It's not the first time I've seen this, and I guess it's a logical way for people who didn't or never bothered studying the intricacies of instrumental music to be like, oh yeah, let's just do the form. Let's just do the structure that we know and getting away with it. Because the downside of trying the song structure on an instrumental piece is risking not having enough melody. Because for most of instrumental music, you need motific development. And motific development is what you need to do to turn a motif into a melody. And if you're somebody who doesn't know how to develop your motifs, you're gonna end up having multiple motifs, multiple melodies, and that risks your music sounding disjointed as a result, because there's not enough connective tissue, so to speak, for your melodies to stick together. And Gershon, welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, it's risky. However, because we are doing all these drops and everything, and because we did have a little bit of singing earlier with the song, that counts as good enough, and it keeps things together well enough so that, yeah, let's see where it goes. So yeah, we have the singer doing lyrics. It's a different type of singing, so it could be chorus. This is a bridge. This is bridge. So in song, the idea of a bridge is that of doing a contrasting section to everything else you've done. Usually the way it works is that when you're making music, as I've said, you're building tension, resolving tension. Point in between is cadence. However, the purpose of that is to give your piece undulations and ups and downs where the tension is the intensity. Like the direction is intensity. And what you do with a bridge, basically, is that you are gonna go up and down and up and down and chorus, and then we go back down, chorus, and then we go very much lower with the bridge. Usually a bridge is going to bring down the tension a lot, so that then even if you come back up to the same level of intensity as the previous chorus, the journey, the space covered, is now considerably more, so that it feels a lot more climactic, even though you are just doing the same thing that you did before, or even with minor variations. It's a very, very good way, very simple, easy way of getting away with basically not having to make a massive variation on your climactic chorus, because that's the downside of song, that you need to repeat a lot of the patterns a lot, because the lyrics usually don't repeat as much. in that sense. It's a bit paradoxical. Because as I've said, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener. Too much new material, you risk overwhelming the listener. And the problem with lyrics is that the words change a lot. This, of course, has changed in the last 50 years with popular music. Like, it's not a phenomenon of, the Beyoncés and the Rihannas where half the lyrics are, I don't know, girls rule the world or something like that, because, yesterday we were at the car with Dunkel, and lo and behold, a little wonderful song that everyone loves called Born in the USA, where 75% of the, or like 60% of the lyrics is just Born in the USA. Yeah. So it does change in that sense, and of course, repetition in music is a good thing. There is too much of it. It's a difficult balance. Bonfire, welcome today. How you doing? And yes, point being is, for a bridge, it helps you not have to come up with extra stuff for the final chorus, because usually the bridge is going to be before the final chorus. It's a little bit early for there to be a bridge. We're only about halfway through, so let's see where it goes. So yeah, we're just building up, and we're building up a lot over here. Having those violins doing the motif for the accompaniment, and off the ramp we go again. Change of rhythm. Second. Now we do a reduced version of what we've been doing, basically. Interesting approach of Ludicin to have a false drop. It's the second time that the false drop is deployed, and I consider that a risk. I consider that a risky thing, because one of the things that the concept of tension and resolution create, and one of the reasons why cadence is so important, is because it deals with the idea of expectation. You expect the drop to happen. You expect something to happen. When you inhale, you expect to exhale. So, how do I check how many points? You'll have to request exclamation point points. So, yeah, the expectation. There is a very good value in subverting expectations in music. However, there are some basic principles that you should never try to subvert. Or at least be aware that it's a very big risk. That is the issue with all these things. We saw this with film and with TV shows and gaming in the past decade or so, how subverting expectations, instead of it being a good plot twist, they decided to make it a deconstruction of the structures that exist. When it comes to music, it becomes a little bit tricky, because what we call rules in music is nothing more than common practices. There's no strict rule that is going to say that, oh, if I do a parallel fifth on my choral music here in my room, that a conservatory teacher is just going to puff and appear behind me and smack me in the back of the head with a ruler so that I stop doing it. No, these rules are not enforced by any institution. They are enforced by the listener. And things that work and may not work are enforced by basically how the audience reacts to them. And the concept of the tension and resolution, and resolving the tension when you are expected to resolve it, it's the expectation of exhaling after inhaling. You can hold your breath a little bit, but if you try to subvert your expectation of dropping the beat with more tension, this is a very risky move to make. It is working so far. It worked the first time with Ludicin. This second time, we're starting to get the phenomenon of diminishing returns. The more you do something unorthodox, something that is risky, the less likely it is to work. So, yeah. Because then, yes, of course, if we subvert the expectation and we breathe in, when you breathe in, instead of exhaling, you breathe in more, Yeah, that's not expected, but there's only so much air your lungs can take in. So at the time of the resolution, this drop might feel, and ironically enough, might feel excessive. And that is one of the things to be careful about in music. So, I guess, because I don't even know if this is a criticism or not. It's just I'm trying to point things out that this is a risky move to make. Let me go back a little bit and let's see. Oh no, welcome today, how you doing? Tyler Renz, welcome today, how you doing? And here we go, we got the drop, we speed things up, we engage in a similar thing, speeding things up. And I think this time we're going back and forth between the fade type of sidechaining and the on-off sidechaining. Let's see. We repeat, basically. And something else that we're doing right now is that the melodies being played are a series of arpeggios. It's basically a reduced version of the motifs. And what we are doing is every time we are doing the motif individually, we are now focusing on the high points of the motifs. And with that, we are creating a new melody. With that, even though there are a bunch of notes in between, there's a very, very cool aspect of arpeggiation and speeding things up. We still have a minute and a half left. I'm curious to see where this goes. Ooh. Nice fade there. We bring a piano. We bring a piano. Glitchy and everything. We're glitching the drums now. Speeding things up. And now, to compensate for the speed that we are getting, we bring in another synth. Sounds to be like a synth with violin, something like that, giving us a flying melody. Flying melody being another colloquial term that I use. In this case, it is a ability you have. We have a very busy drums, very busy middle ground, very busy melodies, and then at the higher up, we have a simpler, slower melody, slower and simpler than everything else, just flying above the landscape that has been created. It's a very, very good way of contrasting what is happening in the rest of the piece, and it helps make it a lot more digestible. Because at this point, we are speeding up the drums, we are speeding up the melodies, we're speeding up everything, and it's slowly becoming more and more intense, and it's slowly starting to lean a little bit more into the obnoxious. So that is a big risk. Again, like Ludicin is taking a lot of risks in this piece. First, by the structure, not following what you would usually do with motific development and opting for the song structure to begin with, which is working. Over here, the false drops, creating that subversion of expectations with that very risky move with that kind of thing, and now with the speeding up of the drums and everything. Because I remember there was one Camellia song that I like. Second half I flat out didn't like because it was way too overwhelming, and right now with this flying melody we're compensating for that. You are giving me something that I can still keep track of more easily while I digest the rest. By the way, if you want two examples of really good flying melodies, if you want good examples for this, let's see. The first one would be the song Roxanne from the musical Moulin Rouge. There is the movie version with Ewan McGregor singing the climax. His climax, absolutely beautiful, but the melody that Ewan McGregor is singing is the flying melody. The other one being Good to Be King from the Journey to Bethlehem. Antonio Banderas sings the bad guy, the Herod, King Herod, and the chorus when he sings it. Mine is the kingdom, flying melody. Really, really good examples. And right now, in a very interesting way, we are bringing this very strong contrast to help the listener stay grounded within the music. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, we'll go hard. Yeah. Is my favorite song by him, but everyone's got their opinion. Yes. And it was very difficult to keep up with at the end. It was way too overwhelming as sensory overload, basically. So yeah, as I said, I didn't like it. That doesn't mean it wasn't bad. It was badly made or anything. I just didn't like it. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Final minute. We're still speeding up. We're still speeding up, but we still have those melodies high up. Which one? Oh, parts, I think. Oh, we... Quick break. We speed up even more. We are speeding up even more, but we still have at the end, in the background, we still have a chorus now, or at least some chords being held slower, giving us that flying melody, giving us this contrast. I don't think all parts had this. So in this sense, this one I am liking a lot more because it is giving me some sort of grounding to keep track of over here. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Then back in, we're basically repeating things just faster while still having the background. So yes, even though now that we are speeding up and we're speeding up everything, the slower parts in the background, they don't feel as fast as the rest of it, still giving the listener a chance to grab onto something, to hold on to something while going through the rest of this piece. So in this case, I would say this is, this part is, the confusing part over here is that we are basically repeating what we've been doing over the last couple of minutes. Like this song ended at around minute 4. And right now what we're doing is we are repeating and speeding up, repeating, speeding up, repeating, speeding up, basically. Which is not the first time for what we've seen in these types of competitions. Apparently this is for the purposes of Osu. I've never played the game, but I guess this is for, I don't know, the the iPad kid generation that needs their sensory dopamine rush for this. So yeah, let's see. So yes. And we bring back out, we do one last going off the ramp for the outro to bring back out the piano, recapitulating the start. One last hit, we end on a low note on the piano, we hold that out, we let that echo out, and there you go. There you go, Echoes of Memoria. It makes sense that it would repeat so much and echo itself, speeding up every time. So thematically, it fits. I really liked the... It was clever to have that melody at the top, those chords at the top being slower than everything else, because even though it kept speeding up, those chords ended up feeling not as fast. So... yeah, there you go. There you go. That kids, you have a key presses happen in Osu every single second. I don't know how many taps is that. I don't know about Osu. I don't know Osu. Look, I'm gonna offend everybody over here. I have no clue about rhythm games. I have no clue at all. Wait, Osu is the one that is like Dance Dance Revolution, right? Like it's the arrow keys, but like 2 of them, kind of thing. Like up, down, left, right, and you just do the things. Is it that? Or also is like clicking circles. So which one is the keys then? Also is the one with the circles. Oh, okay. The one where you have to like move around and keep track of the circles and that kind of thing. And there is one with keys and arrows. Oh, F and F is the one with the keys. There you go. Yeah, no, I am the great elder one. So what do you expect of me? I'm too old to be an unk. So, So yeah, there you go. Okay, so Osu is the one where you gotta click on the circles, basically. Yeah, that's. I don't understand these generations video games. Back in my day, we had Dark Souls where you would dodge an attack that would take several seconds to build up, and if you didn't, you would die. Okay, there you go. Vertical scrolling rhythm game. Isn't that Guitar Hero? Anyway, let's discuss that after this. So there you go. That was Echoes of Memoria. I really liked the way that the ending was handled, with the slower part, giving you something to hold on to while the rest of it accelerated. I really liked that. Because I imagined that because this was going to be an Osu thing for a competition, that it was going to start spiraling and speeding up. And I like that Ludicin had the courtesy of giving you something to hold on to while everything went more and more insane. So I really liked that. Really good stuff. Echoes of Memoria by Ludicin, featured in Osu, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers before Christmas 2025, I will fully produce, record, and voice act an audiobook of a fan fiction of the choice of the community, whatever you'll want. If you want any other ideas for the 10,000 challenge, let me know. We might be able to figure something else out as well. We'll see. But to achieve the 10,000 has to be done through legitimate and honest means only. Soulcritic, welcome today. How you doing? So, no account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no rat behavior. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. Yeah, do that. Use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does, so go check it out. Go coordinate with them. Link in the description. And go bring me more artists to collaborate with. Do not harass anyone. Do not spam anyone. Do not be a rat. And yes, members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays. And if you are a paid member, you get access to the videos on Saturdays when I schedule them, regardless of the tier that you're in, at least for the LFAs. Let's see. If you want to catch, let me brain. It's Monday. Why is my brain? If you want to watch this video without me interrupting if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you are not on the live stream, by the way, Blowboom and Zelmic, y'all are in the naughty list. For the rest of you, you can go ahead and start requesting now. So, yes, let me just write down these two because Zelmic and Blowboom. Don't worry about it if you're watching this on the videos. So, if you are on the... Yes, if you're not on the live stream, go to the pinned comment. I just realized that I've been pinning the same comment for months now. So yeah, go to the pinned comment. Instructions are there. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Waikola Village in Hawaii, and you're like, what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Just go to the Discord, go to the Twitch, both linked down below, and the schedule is shown in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where we put the gaming after show recording videos when they happen. We record them on the main channel when they happen, and then the recordings go on the gaming channel. So same username, link down below, or search for YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah. There you go. Man, this is the most I've struggled doing the outro in a long time, so there you go. Echoes of Memoria. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.